Shalom, shalom. Thank you. This is Mount Zion 144K coming at you with another Shabbat class. Getting some things in order, so we've been absent for a minute. But as you can see from the channel there, we've been at camp, picking back up with the classes, picking up where we left off. A quick refresh from where we left off. We covered chapters 23 through 27 last time, and that covered the death of our foremother Sarah, Isaac's marriage, Abraham's marriage with Keturah, Isaac and Abimelech, and Isaac's blessing with Jacob. So it's just a quick refresh, recap, and over what we went over the last Shabbat class, because it's been a minute. We're going to pick up from there and start with Genesis 28, going into Jacob getting sent away. And let me go ahead and share my screen, and we'll go ahead and get started here. Just waiting for this to load. All right, there we go. Let's go 28. Okay. Slack it is getting everything in order here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is Genesis chapter 28, verse 1. And it says, "And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him, and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. It says, Arise and go to Padaram, and to the house of Bethuel, my mother." Slakia, go ahead.
No, I was saying Padanaram.
Padanaram? The water. Padanaram, to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's fathers. It says, "And take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother." So he's telling him to go get a wife of someone that's of one of his forefathers' kindreds, which, as we're told, anybody got that precept?
Trust the name on stop.
I think it's in Sirach 26 and start at 19.
That's
Should be Sirach 26 and 19. I'm trying to pull it up now.
Oh, you said 26. My bad. 26. My son, keep thy flower. Okay.
Yep, that's it right there.
Put that precept. What's this?
Pull this verse up real quick so y'all can see what it said. You find it out?
Well, I got it.
Sirach 26 and 19. I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay.
There we go. It says, "My son, keep thy flower of thy age fine." It says, "And give not thy strength unto strangers. When thou get a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock, so that so thy race, which thou leavest behind, may be magnified, having the confidence of thy good descent. So there it is right there, letting you know that we're supposed to trust in the stock of our forefathers, our bloodline, our rich heritage that we have, and trust in that, and take a seed of, you know what I mean, of one of our forefathers, like Jacob is being told to do here in Genesis 28. So let me go ahead and get back to that. Let's see. Like pulling it up now, Genesis 28. Where we leave off on? 3. It says in God,
3, yeah.
It says, "And God Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou may be that may be a multitude of people." It says, "And give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee, and to thy seed with thee, and thou mayest inherit the land where thou art a stranger, with which God gave unto Abraham." Now, who knows the precept where to find that at? The promise that was made to Abraham that eventually went to Isaac. Now that is given to Jacob, and Jacob is being told to give it to his descendants.
I have it. I just have to find it.
Pull it. Look for it. That's what we're here for. And I'm looking for a very specific precept on this, because remember, read again what it's saying in verse 4 here.
Hold on. All right, and the blessing. Right. I'm looking at Genesis chapter 15. 1 through 6.
1 through 6. Okay, that's that. Okay, that now the promise spans from chapter 15 to, I think, some parts of
17,
18.
right?
Yeah, from 15 to some parts of 18. So that's why I said I'm looking for a specific promise. Now read Genesis 28 and 4, and you should have a better idea of what I'm looking for.
Is that the thing? Thank you.
Pecan, you was real close. You was almost piping hot with that one.
Is it Genesis 17 and 7?
Pull that out. Read that. What that say?
It says, "And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee and their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will this is 8, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee and their generations." 10 says, "This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised." Oh, well. But yeah.
That. So I was gonna say that's a great precept, but that is going into the circumcision specifically.
Yeah.
But it does hit most of the points that I'm talking about. If anybody else want to take a crack at it before I go ahead and drop it real quick, more than happy to do so. I'll be able to help you out.
Well, Genesis chapter 15 and 5.
5? What that say?
Yeah. And he brought him forth abroad and said, Look now toward heaven and tell the stars if thou be able to number them. He said unto him, Shall thy seed? He said, So shall thy seed be. 6 is, and he believed in the Lord and counted it to him for righteousness. Because I think 4 is blessing. Oh, no. I'm sorry. No. This is actually the blessing of not. I got that mixed up. My bad.
No, you good. Let's keep
Okay,
let's keep reading. So the context changes a few times. Let's keep reading here. It says, and he believed in Yahweh, and he counted on him, and it was counted on him for righteousness. That's what we just read, right? It says, and he said unto him, I am Yahweh that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees, and give thee this land to inherit. It says, and he said, the Lord, he said, Yahweh thy power, whereby I know that I shall inherit it. And he said unto him, he said, make me a heifer of 3 years old and a goat of 3 years old. And hold on, this is not what I was. Let me see. There's a specific verse that I'm looking for. If we go to Genesis 15, we're on 15, right? Yep, Genesis 15. Let me pull it up in a sword real quick. Stop, little boy. 13. Okay. All right. Let's see. And yeah, he says, okay. So he tells him about the what he said, the goats of 3 years old, and the rams of 3 years old, and the turtle doves and the young pigeons. And he took him all these and divided them in the midst and laid each piece against one another. But the birds divided he not. And when the fowls came down to the carcass, and Abraham's drove them away, it says, and when the sun went down, and the deep fell upon Abraham, lo, and horror, and great darkness fell upon him. It says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve I will judge, and afterwards they shall come out with a great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. So, why are you chewing on the book, bro? I got top of this. He just chewed up. Wow. All right. So all those in that was the one more specifically is what I was talking about. But the one that Payala pulled was very, very close and very, very good. I like that precept. So we're gonna go back. Let's see here. This is 28. All right, so we left off there. Let's see. It says, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, and that thou mayest inherit the land where thou art a stranger. And God gave it unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he sent him to how do you say that? How you say that again? Padanaram, and unto Laban, son of Bethuel the Syrian, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's and Esau's mother. It says, and when Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, he sent him away to Padanaram and took him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, and he gave him charge, saying, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. It says, and that Jacob obeyed his fathers and his mothers, and was gone to Padanaram. It says, and Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael, and took unto the wives which he had. How do you say that? Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, and a sister of Nebajoth, to be his wife. So Esau said, "To hell with that! I'm gonna do what I want to do." That's just in his spirit from day one.
Right. Yeah. I don't see her being overly concerned with him.
Yeah. Verse 10, it says, and Jacob went out to Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillars, and to lay down and to lay a place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set upon the earth. And there's so many doctrines come out of this. There's movies that are made off of this verse, like all types of stuff. But yeah, we'll keep going. He says, and he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set upon the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, angels of God was ascending and descending on it. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh thy power, I'm the Yahweh thy power of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac, and the land where thou liest, to go thee I will give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad the west and the east, and to the north and to the south, and in the and in thee and in thy seed, and all families of the earth will be blessed. So that's why people wonder why I say certain things that I teach, because of verses like this. When we can go all the way back to the promise made to Abraham, through the Israelites, the rest of the world shall be blessed. Is that not what this says?
No, that's that's exactly what they're saying.
So that's, you can correlate that right along with Matthew 5, what we were teaching at camp last week. You have to be a light to the other nations. That's what we're set up to be. That's why we're gonna be scattered throughout the world, so we can teach the rest of the world the ways of the Most High. Going on, verse 15. It says, and behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and I will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place, that it is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. It says, and Jacob arose early in the morning and took a stone that he had put for his pillows, and he set up for a pillar, and he poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of the place Bethuel, but the name of the city was called Luz at first.
Salaki. What verse are we on?
Going on to verse 20. Genesis 28, verse 20.
The water.
It says, and Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me, and I will keep and will keep me in this way that I go, and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. It says, and this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house. And for all that I shall give me will I surely give a tenth of thee unto. So he's going to give a tenth to the well. No, we're not going to get into that. But yeah, so he's going to give a tenth. We're going to go on to chapter 29. Didn't we brought this out at camp too, right? Hold on. Let's see something real quick. I think we touched on this in a previous class, and I think we went over this in camp as well. Hold on 1 second. All I gotta do is read the very last verse. Okay, no, never mind. Hold on, let me see. Okay. No, it wasn't this verse, I don't think. No, yeah, that was Isaac and Rebecca that we went over.
All right. I keep getting them two mixed up.
Yeah. I did for a second too. All right, so chapter 29, verse 1 says, then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. He says, and he looked, and behold, a well in the field, and lo, there was 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. It says, and out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. It says, and thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, my brethren, whence be ye? And they said, of Haran we are, of Haran are we. He says, and he said unto them, know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, we know him. And he said unto them, is he well? And they said, he is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, lo, this is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together, where water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. He says, and then he said, we cannot until the flock be gathered together, and till they roll the stone from the well's mouth, to then we water the sheep. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I brought out about cattle being sheep as well, and when you just read that, that cemented it pretty much.
Oh, okay.
You know, people tend to think cattle, it's just cows.
I learned something new. I never really thought about it like that, but yeah. It says, and while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, and she kept them. And it came to pass that when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel and lifted his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he is Slakia. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, Slakia. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son, and that he ran and told her father. And it came to pass that Laban heard the tidings of Jacob's his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things. Because I read that, had to read that 3 or 4 times, and I had to think, and I was like, okay, it's from his mother's side. So I was like, wait a second. So I was like, hold up here. And I was like, I keep forgetting that Laban is on his mother's side. So yeah, that's why I keep saying his mother's brother. He makes that very clear, because when people are like, oh, the Bible teaches incest. Well, technically it's not, because they're coming from 2 different seed lines. So they're really only married, or they're only related through marriage. So, you know what I mean? And then under the law, you're not supposed to get somebody who's, you know what I mean, of certain nations and things like that. So that's why it's more, you know what I mean, they're saying go get a wife of the daughter of your fathers, because more often than not, then one of your forefathers is going to be somebody from the 12 tribes.
Okay. But also that incest that you said, that law speaks against that too. You can't uncover the nakedness of, you know?
Right. Yeah, there's clear laws against that. So that's out anyway. Let's see. All right, where do we leave off at? Surely me and the one. I can't pass the word entitled to Jacob's sisters. Let me meet him, embrace him. Okay, verse 14. It says, and Laban said to him, surely thou art bone of my bone, thou art my bone and my flesh. And he abode with him in space of a month. As in Laban said to Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what are thy wages? What shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. He says, and Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well favored. What is tender eye?
Oh, I was just about to ask.
Eye? Yeah, what is that? Somebody look that up.
Because a lot of people go into it's like doctrines on that, like, oh, Leah was ugly and Rachel was beautiful. But I'm thinking the woman just had tender eyes for Jacob. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be, what is it? The brother, what is it? The prophecy, whose eyes should be tender towards his brother. They're not saying these people are ugly. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's a very, I can't look it up because I'm actually on the phone. I'm scared to jump out this room again. I might get booted out. Tender, what was that?
Oh no! It says was Leah cross-eyed. Oh no, that's not
Right.
what we're about
See?
to do.
Oh,
no. Oh boy. Okay, now we just gonna shut that down. Oh my gosh! Wow, that's hilarious. Okay. Yo, that's
you a fool, bro.
It said was lit. Somebody that's been Googled so many times that it comes up as a search. It says was
I'm saying, yeah.
I was like, nah, bro. Okay. It says Leah was tender-eyed. You know what? Let's see if it'll tell us in the blue letter.
Oh, hey.
Oh, it's too different.
Strong is wet.
What does this word tender mean? Is this like a euphemism for something else? Let's see.
Rock.
Tender, soft, faint-hearted, weak, tender. Oh, yeah. Tender, soft, delicate, tender, weak, timid,
gentle.
soft, gentle. Okay.
I'm tending to think it's more gentle.
It's what we thought, yeah.
Because they sisters. I mean, I can't say that you, if you dated in a family
and some sisters, the little sister be bigger than the big sister.
But it's saying specifically that Rebecca's beautiful. Wow. But I don't think Leah was ugly. I just got a feeling.
I'm not saying that either, but I can see how people would, jump out of the window on that one.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so reading on. It says Leah was tender. It says, but Rachel was beautiful and well favored. So that probably means like
favored.
Leah was a beautiful woman, but Rachel was probably like
bad. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean? Okay, she's cute, but old girl over here is like, wow. Like I can't keep my eyes off her. Like I don't mind looking at her, but I can't keep my eyes off of this one. So that's that's how I'm, you know what I mean? And if I'm wrong, then somebody go ahead and put it in the comments. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure y'all eat it up, but that's what I take.
I mean, because think of at the same time,
like one's ugly and the other one's beautiful. One's just more beautiful than the other one.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was around the same because he gonna get duped later on, right? Yeah, I know it's halfway dark and he half drunk, but he wasn't so, you know what I'm saying? Because they gotta look similar, you know what I'm saying? If she was cross-eyed, big nosed, or whatever, looking like a Sasquatch, I think he would have knew immediately. Oh no. You wandered into the wrong tent, like no. But he woke up the next day like, wait a minute, LeBron, what's up? Oh, here's my man.
Come on, go moving on to verse 18. It says, and Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. Remember, Rachel was the younger and Leah was the older. And Laban, hold on. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few years for the love he had for her. He's like, 7 years ain't nothing. I could do that. You know what I mean? maybe he was thinking I could do that 2 times over, and LeBron saw that too. He was like, you know, man,
okay,
you know what? We're gonna put that to the test.
right.
So let's go to verse 21. It says, "And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast." So there we go. So we had Isaac had a feast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Isaac's servant had a feast and everything and a ceremony and gave the gifts and things like that to the brother and the parents and everything like that. And now we see Jacob having the feast as well. So this feast is a very important thing. It's a part of the ceremony of marriage. It helps consummate and solidify the actual marriage. You letting you know that both sides, both families are in agreement on this. It's not just two teenagers that y'all, I'm finna go to Tay house, and then you end up getting Tay's sister pregnant because don't nobody know that y'all over there alone. This isn't one of those situations.
It's funny how not even funny, because we so low now, and we under Esau's education, that he went right to him. Hey, I want to have sex with your daughter. Straight to him. So
Con. So where we leave off at, together, place unto her. Okay, Con. 24. It says, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid and her handmaid. He says, and it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. It says, and he said unto Laban, says, what is thou hast thou done unto me? It says, did I not serve thee for Rachel? He says, wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? It's like, bro, what did you do? Like, you know what I mean? You set me up. You hit me with the okie doke. You know I asked you for Rachel. Like, why are you playing me, bro? That's that. You know what I mean? He had to, ask him. Like, bro, we supposed to be fam. Laban said, it must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn. He's like, what? Well, okay, why didn't you say that though? If that's the case, that's fine, bro. But why didn't you say that? Like, you didn't even give me no chance to say so in the matter. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is all of the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Because the 12 tribes had to be, born how they were going to be born. So it was just, he kind of had to, depending on how you look at it, get duped, so to speak.
I got a quick question.
You saying something?
Yeah. What nationality is Laban? He's not Israel, right?
They said Laban is a Syrian.
Okay, Khan.
I got a question too, though. I don't think it's in the law, but there is, I guess, a statute where it's a shame for a woman to be, I guess, a certain age and still at her father's house. Oh, and unmarried. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so they're probably. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so they're probably going by that, and that's why he said what he said in verse 26. He said, Laban said, "It must not be done." It says, "It must not be so done in our country." It says to give the younger before the firstborn. So you have, different rules, depending on where you go. So he's like, over here, we don't do that. You know what I mean? You got to get the firstborn out of the house got to go, and then so on and so forth. Or else you're going to have, sons and daughters piling up, and, you're not going to be able to get them and marry them off. Right. If y'all are familiar with Game of Thrones, it was the king of the, what's his name? The king of the River Run. He had like 7 or 8 daughters. Yeah, he had like 7 or 8 daughters. So when it came time for people to bargain and stuff like that, he's like, "Oh, I got to get some of these daughters off. You got to." He's like, "You got to give me 2 sons so I can get 2 of these daughters off, and somebody else got and one. And he wasn't playing. He was like, and somebody else got to marry another one. I'm trying to get rid of these kids. You see what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean. The castle ain't that big once you got 23 kids running around. Like it's a whole different subject going on. So that's you have that rule or that way of life in different societies, different civilizations or communities. You know what I mean, surrounding Israel and things like that. So that's what we're dealing with. Verse 28. And Jacob said, and Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his maid, his handmaid, to be her maid. He says, and he went also unto Rachel, and he loved her. He loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. So he spent 14 years in it at his uncle's house serving, so he can get the right bride. He says, and when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, and he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And I was just going to say that wasn't in Jacob's best interest to favor one bride over the other. Anybody got a precept for that?
Well, that's up the Lord. Let me see. Okay. I don't know the precept, but it's the Lord commands thy footsteps.
I also don't know a precept for that. I've heard that you're allowed to have more than one wife, but you have to treat them equally. I just have no precept for that in the word or in the scriptures.
All right, somebody pull up Deuteronomy 21 and 15.
Twenty-one, 3, 10, 14.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
What that say?
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 25, verse 15. It reads, "But thou shalt have a perfect and just weight, a perfect and just measure shalt thou have, that thy days may be lengthened in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee."
It's like it. What are you reading?
You said 25 and 15, correct?
Slack it. Nah. Let me get Deuteronomy 21 and 15.
Oh, Salakia. I read the wrong one.
I got it.
Yeah, go ahead. I have it too.
If a man have 2 wives, one beloved and the other hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated, and if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, 16, then shall be, when he shall maketh his son to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved firstborn before the son of the hated, which is indeed the firstborn.
But so what is it saying right here? Slakia. So what is the law saying right here? It's saying just like we have in the instance with Jacob here, because he loved the younger sister more than the older sister, he can't then have a baby with the younger sister and then make her son and give him the rights of the firstborn when her son would be obviously the secondborn when he had babies with the first one. You see what I'm saying? Because when we go back to his marriage, he went into both women. You see what I'm saying? Let's say for the sake of argument, he got them both pregnant. You see what I'm saying? So that would mean he got the oldest sister pregnant first, and then he got the younger sister pregnant second, which means the older sister's firstborn would indeed be the firstborn. But in Jacob's case, he loved the younger sister more. So there could be an instance where he was like, well, I don't really love you and your kid that much. I love her and her kid that much. And then take that firstborn inheritance and give it to another kid. The law is saying you can't do that.
No respect the persons, no favoritism.
Come. All right, so let's go back. Where were we at?
Well, that was
Genesis 29.
25. Yeah, 29 and 25, I'm saying.
29
Without
and 25.
me. Wait, no.
No,
Let's be honest, my bad.
29 and 32.
32.
Yeah.
Con.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right.
It says, I'll go back to 31. It says, and when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened up her womb, but Rachel was barren. So that was kind of like a little payback, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, so, well, you know what I mean? Hey, you can't be like that. So for that, you know what I mean? You're trying to hurry up and get one pregnant because you love her more. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So he closed up one womb and opened up another. It says, and Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. It says, for she said, surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now, therefore, my husband will love me. So, she goes on to have Reuben, the firstborn of the 12 tribes. It says, and she conceived again, and she bore and said, because of the Lord heard that I was hated, he has given me this son also. And she conceived his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have bore him 3 sons. Therefore she had called his name Levi. So the Most High just, you know what I mean, he shut one down and opened one up and turned her into a baby making factory. She just spitting out babies left and right, son after son. You know what I mean? And they blessed because they having boys. You see what I'm saying? This ain't just no run of the mill, like, you know, you got to have 4 or 5 girls before you have a boy. And no, they had boy after boy after boy. You see what I'm saying? So hey, look, I know he going to love me now. I gave him 3 boys back to back. I know I'm going to be in his favor. It says, let's see. And she called the son Levi. Verse 35. It says, and she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, now will I praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing.
See,
so
there you go.
When we read each one of these, you're gonna look at the not only the tribe name and the order that they're born in, but you're gonna read the meaning of those names as well. So when we go back up to Reuben, Reuben is Yahweh hath looked upon my affliction. So that's the meaning or the name behind Reuben. When we get to Simeon, Simeon goes into when he heard that I was hated, that he has therefore given me a son also. So he gave his name Simeon. And then Levi, same thing. So you're going to get into these meanings. With Judah, same thing. Look, Judah, it says, and she said, now I will praise the Lord. Boom. That's why she named him Judah. Yahweh's praise. So you're going to get into the meaning and or the backdrop behind each one of these names as you go through them. Let's go ahead to chapter 30 here. Waiting for this to pop up. Slakia. All right, there we go. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 30. It says, and when Rachel saw that the son that she bare a son, Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, give me children or else I die. She was in a desperate situation. She said, and Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, am I in God's stead, who had withheld from thee the fruit of thy womb? And it's like, it's not me, it's the Most High who's doing this. How you gonna tell me, oh, get you pregnant, give you children unless you die? You know what I mean? It's obviously not me. I done had You see what I'm saying? It's obviously not me. I done had X amount of kids with your sister. So, you know what I mean? You sitting there talking about, oh, give me children. This is beyond me. What that old boy say in the video? He said, I'm sorry, man, but this is beyond me. That's what's going on with her. Like he's like, this is of the Most High. You know what I mean? It ain't it. My soldiers is swimming. That's all I know.
Hey, look. He had to be wearing out the box. Like, I mean, he loved her. Well, he liked her. He favored Rebecca more than Leah anyway. So,
right, and then she probably think like, is it something out? Like, what, you know what I mean? What's going on? Like, I see you getting her pregnant, you're not getting me pregnant. Like, what did something change? You know what I mean? That could mess up. You know what I mean? That could bring a whole different dynamic into a relationship. You know?
Yeah. Thank goodness it was no Oprah back in that day.
You know? He had to deal with that, and I think it's only giving us this one little, you know what I mean, back and forth of what they really spoke about. But think about the tension and everything else that had to go into having that conversation. What it was like around the household. You know what I mean? Her sitting there, and so she envied her sister. She's sitting there watching her breastfeed her children and run around and all this other, and then she can't like not be, you know what I mean, be the auntie to the kids, but it's just like she still don't like her sister, or you know what I mean, feeling some type of way about her sister behind this. So you got all this animosity and stuff built up in the house, and that's why this was a blessing. This is all ordained of the Most High. But that brings up another subject, as it says in the scriptures. Now we know we just went to the law that says if a man has two wives and how to handle it. So that's not where we're going here. But the law says also, all things that are lawful are not expedient. Meaning all things that are lawful and good, but they may not be good for you. And I say that to say this because brothers are try to get in the same situation thinking they're as strong as man as Jacob and try to juggle two women, and let's say they find themselves in this predicament. How are you going to handle that? Because the Most High was on Jacob's side, so he worked it all out. You see what I'm saying? He ended up having babies with both women. But how are you gonna handle that if you know what I'm saying? If the Most High doesn't do that, then you sitting there stuck. You know what I mean? You stuck on Chuck, and you don't know what to do. Now you got in this case you got sisters, or you got women mad at each other because you know what I mean, X, Y, and Z. So all things decently and in order, and all things that are lawful are not expedient. So with that, we're gonna keep on going. It says, and she said, "Behold, my maid Bilhah, go into her, and she said, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her." And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went into her. So she was desperate. She was just like, okay, well, we'll do the surrogate. You know what I mean? Like I'll have children via her, like the whole Ruth situation. Like, you know what I mean? Well, I just need some children by you. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of like that was kind of like a badge of honor, so to speak. Like if you was with somebody so long and y'all didn't have no children, you know what I'm saying? And they know this man to have kids with somebody else. If you got, you know what I mean, depending on how many wives you got, they kind of look at the woman like, well, what's wrong with her? You know what I mean? Is there some? And then that's kind of like a shame, so to speak. So she's like, I'll even if I gotta have children by another woman, I'll do that. And that's what she's doing here. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went into her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and has also heard my voice, and that had given me a son. Therefore she called Slakia. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Dan goes into Yahweh's judge. So that's the little back story, or the meaning behind Dan. Let's see. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, "With great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed." And she called his name Naphtali. He says, and when Leah saw that she had left bearing, she she took Zilpah her maid and gave her unto Jacob to wife, and Zilpah, Leah's maid, bears Jacob a son. So they're just going back and forth trying to get one up on each other. I can have more kids than you. No, I can have more kids than you. And thus there we get the 12 tribes. So we're going to keep on going down. It says, and Leah said, a troop cometh, and she called his name Gad. It says, and Zilpah Leah bare Jacob a son, and Leah said, happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed, and she called his name Asher. It says, and Reuben went in the days of the wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said unto Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, it is a small matter that thou hast taken my husband, and wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, therefore he shall lie with thee tonight in thy mother Slakia. Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out in the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him and said, thou must come into me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bare Jacob the fifth son. So now we got the tiebreaker. We was all even, and now we got the tiebreaker. Here come little baby Issachar. It says, and Leah said, God giveth me hire, because I have given my maid unto my husband, and she called his name Issachar. And Issachar goes into what is it, like he is hired, and that's what you see in that first sentence right there. Is, and Leah said, God hath given me hire, and that's what Issachar, he is hired. Stop, little kid. Start talking about Issachar, you start going crazy, huh? Yeah. And Leah conceived again and bare Jacob a sixth son. It says, and Leah said, God hath endured with me and good dowry. It says, now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bore a daughter and called her name Dinah.
So she's what, 8? Wait, he's 5, 6, 7.
Little baby Dinah.
So she's a 7th child again.
Six son, Zebulun, six son. Yeah, six. Zebulun is the 6th. Then you got Dinah is the 7th. Let's see. And then God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened unto her and opened her womb. And she conceived a son, and she said, God hath taken away my reproach. And God had taken away my reproach, and she called his name Joseph, and said, the Lord shall add unto me another son. Verse 25, and it came to pass when Rachel had bore Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away, that I may go into my own place and to my own country. That's a lot of people in one house. He said, and give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, let me go. For thou knowest my service with thee, I have for thou knowest my service which I have done thee, And Laban said unto him, I pray thee that if I found favor in thy eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And I think Laban knew this going back in the beginning. That's kind of why he did we got the older daughter and the younger daughter. He was like, if I can get 7 more years of Jacob being blessed and my house being blessed, of Jacob being here, I'm gonna take it any way I can.
Just then bless me. Hey, what was that? That was whoever we serve, we bless them.
Con.
We just looked at that. That was
He said, let's see, verse 27 is Laban said, unto him, I pray thee that if I found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. So the Lord was blessing Laban for Jacob's sake. So just like in a way, even though we know the Most High is not necessarily dealing with America, but he may make things in America a certain way so it's easier on the Israelites. Or around the world, period. Case in point, just like when we were in Egypt, the Most High made it very nice and plush for us for a while. When we were serving under when Joseph was ruling, we had it nice. We had the best part. We was in the land of Goshen. We had the nice part of the land. You see what I'm saying? We was good. And then when the next Pharaoh came, and he wasn't with the plan, and that's when everything fell apart. But you know what I mean? The Most High will find a way, even in captivity. To you know what I mean? So that's why Laban was checking this out, bring it around full circle. Laban was checking this out and was like, yo, I didn't notice that the Most High is dealing with me because of you. So I'm gonna need you to stick around a little longer. Let's see what Jacob said. He said, and he said, appoint me thy way. He said, man, pay me and let me go, bro. Get me out of here. He says, and I will give it. He says, and he said unto him, thou knowest that I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. He says, for it was a little that how had us before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord has blessed thee since my coming, and now when I shall provide for me my own house also. So he says, like, yo, you done got your increase couple times over, bro. Now it's time for me to get my own and have my own house and all this other stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because they probably done, you know what I mean, renovated the house and got all types of they having kids left and right. He already got 2 daughters. You see what I'm saying? So here I had to have a nice size place anyway. Now you got all these kids popping up. And unless either they moved or they, you know what I mean, had some additions done to the house or something like that. You know what I mean? Let's be realistic. So he's like, you don't got your increase. It's time for me to get my increase so I can provide for my family, Verse 31. And he said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. It says, I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle and all the brown cattle among them, from among the sheep. Oh yeah, there you go, right there. That's another verse, right there.
But brown sheep, you know what I'm saying? We know about white and black.
Speckled sheep. What about that one?
That too. That's what I'm saying. Like you.
God, it says, and I will pass through all thy flock today, removing thence all the speckled and spotted cattle and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and will spot and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and such shall be my hire. So he's like, I'm only going to take certain ones that look like this. You can keep all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? All the black ones, all the white ones, all the, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You can have all this one. I'll just take these. So he's not even saying I'm taking the majority of this because the blessing was supposed to be mine. And that he didn't even go that route. He's like, look, I'll take, you know what I mean? Probably knowing Jake, you know what? Just so I can get up out of here. And we'll do a 60-40 split. Well, you take 60 and I'll take 40. Give me my little speckled, you know what I'm saying? Just that, and let me get up out of here, bro, because I don't want no more problems, man. Let me get up out. Hey, say Jacob was a simple man dwelling in tents. You know what I mean? Jake's trying to get up out of there and get on and get some peace. You see what I'm saying?
Who he dealing with.
Right.
See, he even take I don't want to call him ugly, but he taking the less favorable sheep. Like, no, I'm gonna give you the pristine ones. Exactly. I'll take the ones in the middle,
right.
It's kind of gamey looking. I gotta feed my family, so we good with this. Know what you're dealing with. You know what this man.
Verse 33. It says, so shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come from my hire before thy face, every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and the brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me.
Mm-hmm.
So if any ones that I do have that are all black, all white, all you know what I mean, that aren't what I said, okay, then you can say that I stole them from you. So that's me going further down the line.
Because he already know.
Doubling down on his promise. You can call me a thief. Just let me up out of here, bro. Get me.
No, he know how he is. You do me
bro.
Right, he desperate. Okay. I know how to do this.
Hey, but yeah, you hit the nail on the head. When you know the nature of somebody, it's in your best interest to how they say, cut your losses. You see what I'm saying? Cut your losses and get up out of there. You know what I mean? Because it could cost you more in the long run by trying to, you know what I mean, do it X, Y, and Z.
All right. What's that? And we used it that camp. About your adversary. Agree with that adversary quick.
Con, that's that Matthew 5.
That's a bit strong. Yeah. But there you go. You cut your losses. You swallow your pride. You just get out the situation.
Con.
And that actually happened to me after y'all pulled off. But we'll get into that later.
Oh, wow. Con. All right. So let's see. It says, he said, you can count on, if you see any of those cattle, sheep, whatever with me, then you can count them as stolen. And it says, and Laban said, behold, Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And it says, and he removed that day the he goats that were ring striking and spotted, and all the goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it. It says, and all the brown among the sheep he gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rods and green poplar. It says, and of them hazel and chestnut tree, and piddled the white streaks with them, and made the white appear with which was in the rods, like stripping them down. Yeah, like what's the dang, I forget what they're called. It's a certain little. It's like a reed almost, like a something that glow. If you ever been like in the Everglades or something like that, down to like the swamp area, they have stuff like that. You can it's not the same thing, but it's similar, and you can kind of like strip them back and stuff like that, and use it and tie together the little strings and stuff like that, and make little ropes and stuff like that with them. It's kind of cool if you're in like survival mode and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They got stuff like that in the desert and the woods too, depending on what type of plants you have around.
Survival mode.
Yeah, you can make little ropes and stuff, man. Make little bags and all type. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. Crazy.
T-shirts.
Yep. Do it when it's pliable and wet, and then once it dries out, you got a nice, decent, strong rope. Mm-hmm. But anyway, moving on. Let's see. Verse 38. It says, and he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters and water troughs when the flocks came to drink, and they should conceive that they had came to drink, and the flock conceived before the rods, and brought the fourth cattle ring straight, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and he set the face of the flocks toward the ring straight, and all the brown in the flock of Laban he put in his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. Because I don't even want to get them mixed up, so there ain't no confusion. Nobody trying to say nothing and do nothing like that. We just gonna keep them completely separate. So it came to pass, whenever the stronger cattle did conceive, And Jacob laid the rods before the before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, and that they might conceive among the rods. But the cattle were feeble. He put them not in. So the feebler were Laban,
Right.
and the stronger were Jacob's. So see, look. So that's why he did it the way he did it. I'm gonna have yours completely separate from mine, so there's
Right.
no confusion. And when it was all said and done, once again, the Most High came through for Jacob, and he had the stronger flock.
Right. He training them too. If you notice, they said when they recognize the stripped or the not stripped, he peeling them back. So when they recognize it, the other not bulls, but the males, it's that time to go to work. So they go in and we don't want the feeble ones with the ribs showing. Y'all go over there, and all the strong ones came. So it's like Laban is getting his work and Jacob getting the increase right now. That was smart.
Verse 43. It says, and the man increased exceedingly and had much cattle and maid servants and manservants and camels and asses. Last chapter here. It says, and he heard that the word of Laban's son, saying, Jacob had taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's, and had he gotten all this glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and beheld it was not toward him as before. It was not toward him as before. He said, "Hey, you done changed up, bro. What's going on?" It was what did they say? It was all good just a week ago.
He knew who he was dealing with. He knew
that's what I was trying to tell y'all last chapter. Jacob was trying to cut a deal and get up out of there, man. He's like, look, man, we can do the 60-40 split real quick. I'll take the weak ones, No, man, help me. And then what do you? All right, man. I'm gonna have to raise his flock too. All right, man, do this. It happened. Boom. He ended up getting it. Like, nah, this ain't working out in my favor. He's like, you're trying to milk the cow one too many times, or what they trying to say? You're running to the well one too many times.
But let's not forget they color coded too, so you can't say that the white or whatever, we already agreed. I'm gonna have this color. You got your color. I can't help that they don't want to eat it. They don't want to lay into the females. I don't know what's going on. But my flock is right here. That's what you wanted. You got that.
He says his countenance was not as it was before. It says, and the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field, unto his flock. He said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not towards me as before. I gotta use that on somebody, bro. I gotta use that. That's cold. I like that. It says, but the God of my fathers had been with me. It says, and ye know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father had deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, and God suffered him not to hurt me. It says, if he said thus, the speckled say the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. If he said thus, the ring shall be my hire, and then bear all the cattle ring shall. And he said, thus God has taken away the cattle for your father and given them to me.
See?
It's like no matter what he says, Most High gonna do the opposite. So we gotta get up out of here because he's about to be hot, bro. Okay, he says, let's see. He says, and it came to pass at the time of the cattle, at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes and I saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-shagged and speckled and what was that?
Gristled.
And gristled. It says, and the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here I am. And he said, lift up now thy eyes and see all the rams which leaped upon the cattle are ringshad, speckled, and gristled. He says, for I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee, and the Lord God of, I am the God of Bethel. He says, there where thou astonished the pillar,
anointed.
When thou anointed the pillar, Slakia, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out of this land, and return into the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion of inheritance for us in our father's house? Oh, Slakia. Is there any inheritance for us in our father's house? Or are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and have quite devoured also our money.
That's false.
So Laban just turned into a tyrant. He was just over there, you know what I mean,
this
just
dude
doing anything and everything.
But he's so he's so unright. Like you just said, he a tyrant, man. Lord see him. He's like, look, I'm gonna give you this increase. Get up out of here. Going back to your side of the woods. I'm gonna let this man do, and you know, because this guy, that's bad. And this is his own blood. Basically his own family.
Well, not really.
I mean, I know he's.
You gotta remember, it's his mom's brother.
Kind. But I'm saying he's in the family.
You know how it is. Everybody got that uncle, bro. Everybody got that
right.
uncle. Like you mess with him, but you really don't mess with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's Uncle Laban. Like, you know what I mean? That's all. Hey, it is what it is, bro. You got to deal with him. He family.
Wow.
Oh, Uncle Laban. Everybody got an Uncle Laban.
I'm sitting there thinking of one that like.
Hey, look! He said, "And have devoured also our money." That's Uncle Laban for you. All right, moving on to verse 16. It says, "For all these riches God has taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God has said unto thee, do." It says, "Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wife upon the camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, and the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in how do you say that? Padanaram. It says for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. It says and Laban went to share his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the image that were her father's, and Jacob stole away unawares to Laban's the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he had to leave before, you know what I mean? He had to take off before he knew what was going on, before it was and before anything else can break out.
Right.
He was gonna make it even more difficult. He said, so he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and he passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. He says, and it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled, and he told his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and he overtook him in that they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. It says, and God came to Laban the Syrian in a daydream by night, in a dream. I was like, in a daydream by night, in a dream by night, and said unto him, take heed that thou speak not unto Jacob, neither good or bad. And Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban his with his brethren pitched in the Mount Gilead. And it says, and Laban said unto Jacob, what hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away daughters and captives, and taken with the sword? What, Papa? Come here. It says, wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me? And didst thou not tell me, and I might have sent thee away with mirth? It says, and with songs, and with turret, and with harp. Then why didn't you do that in the first place?
Hey,
when I first asked you to leave, why didn't you do all of this? That's what I don't get.
Because that's LeBron.
That's Uncle LeBron for you.
Right. Yeah.
All right, here we go. He said, and has not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters, and has now done foolishly in so doing. He says, it is in the power of my hand to it is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. And but the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, take ye heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then what you talking to me for?
Hey.
I was just going to say that. Didn't the Most High just tell you not to touch? Man, look.
Right. But remember,
your mouth. I was gonna say.
wait. Wait. What was it? Where we at? This is Genesis 31:7. And your father hath deceived me and changed my ways 10 times, but God suffered him not to hurt me. And now he down here talking about this in my hand to hurt you. But the Lord had to remind him of something in a dream. Mm-hmm. So it's like this dude is beyond
he all over the place.
Uncle LeBron.
Uncle LeBron, bro, just out here tripping.
He out here on. You know that you can't trust this man. Look, we had to sneak out. I ain't even write a letter. Had to go. Timberwolves. Yeah, okay.
Con. Going on to verse 30.
So
it says, and now though thou wouldest need be gone, because thou sore lodgest after my father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. So you gonna renege? What you mean?
Right. He'll renege like yo.
You about to renege on the whole deal now. I done sold you 14 plus years, and you about to renege on the whole deal? Oh nah, buddy.
10 times you didn't. What did he say? 10 times.
And you gonna change my wages 10 times?
Right, like
nah, bro. I can't trust you, Uncle. I can't trust you.
Without telling him, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
I'm not going,
crazy, bro. All right, so it says, with whoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. It says, before our brethren discern, thou mayest thou what is mine with me, and take it to thee, for Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. It's like, hey, I'm not responsible for what she did. Is what she did. She's trying to get her own revenge. They ain't got nothing to do with me.
Is this the reason why? I think oh wow, this is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Well, I was just gonna say Rachel is Issachar's mom, right?
I believe so.
And right now, Issachar has a huge problem with idolatry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true that.
So I'm just wondering if that's a spirited thing from him. But, I digress. I'm sorry. I just saw that. Wow. But not to make a doctrine or nothing. I was just...
Verse 34. Verse 33. It says, Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the two maidservants' tent, but he found them not. Then when he went out of Leah's tent and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images and put them in the camel's furniture. It says, and sat upon them, and Laban searched all the tent and found them not. So she was slick with it.
She's a thief, man.
Yeah, they trying to hold on to them damn idols. But wait. That shows you that both daughters had them, so it wasn't just.
Oh wait, both of them did?
Yeah. So he said he left one tent looking for him and went to another tent, and she had him and was sitting on him.
I thought it was just Rachel. Okay.
Let's see, and then let's see. but found them not. And she said unto her father, "Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of the women is upon me." And and he searched but found not the image.
No.
Smooth lie.
He gonna like literally he gonna raise the dress and look to see. Come on, man. This dude is something else.
Hey man, that's your uncle.
Uncle Laban.
It says, and Jacob was wroth and chode with Laban. It says, and Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast hostily pursued after me? He says, whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, and thou hast found all thy household stuff, set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, and that they may be judged betwixt us both. Hey,
man, that ain't even eloquent. That man is hot. He said all my stuff.
It's 20 years have I been with thee. See, I told you it was more than 14, bro. He's 20.
Yeah. And half of that,
I knew it had to be more than 14.
Mm-hmm.
It says, thy ewes and thy sheeps. Ewes is like
I think that's a female. No, wait. Goat. That's like a goat.
I think so, something like that. Some type of farm animal. But it says, and thy she goats.
Right. The ewe is a male.
What?
I think the ewe is a male goat.
Yeah, some type of farm animal. It says, and their cast their young, and the rams of the flock have I not eaten. It says, which was torn of the beast brought not unto thee. That which was torn of the beast I brought not unto thee, and I bear the loss of it, and my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by the day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day, the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sheep departed from mine eyes. Thus I have been 20 years in thy house, and served thee 14 years for thy two daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times, except the God of my fathers, the God of Abraham and the fear of Isaac had been with me. Surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. He says, God has sent mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. It says, and Laban answered and said unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do? What can I do this day unto thee, my daughters, or unto their children, which they have borne? Now therefore comest thou, let us make a covenant that I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap, and they did eat they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it
Shagar Shahadutha.
Yep, that's what he said. He said, but Jacob called it see, I'm gonna go with what Jacob said. I'm gonna go to a Gilead. So Jacob called it Gilead, and Laban said, the heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore he named it and he therefore was the name of it called Gilead. It says, and Mitzvah, and for he said, the Lord watch between me and thee. The Lord watch between me and thee, and we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness between me and thee. He says, and Laban said unto Jacob, behold this heap, and behold this pillar which I have cast betwixt me and thee. the heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar to me for harm.
Wait, Shalakia. Now Jacob said something about the Most High. That's what's going to, stop us from whatever, right? But then here you go with Laban talking about this again, an idol. This man made some stones, and let that be a witness.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a difference in spirits, like, yo.
You gotta remember he's Syrian.
Right.
So it's not like they're Israelite uncles. It's not like, you know what I mean, these are completely different people we dealing with. They just happen to be on the approved list.
God, the Lord said it, though.
There's certain nations we cannot deal with. There's certain nations that you know what I mean, the Bible doesn't say anything about those nations. You see what I'm saying? So this is happened to be one of those nations. Now they have their own customs and things like that, and that's why, you see the daughters trying to take off with the idols and stuff like that. They still have a little bit of those customs until we come and set the record straight, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. This heap be a witness, and this pillar be a witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and that thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. And God of Abraham and the God of Noah and the God of their fathers judge betwixt us, and Jacob swear by the fear of his father Isaac. It says, then Jacob offered sacrifice unto the mound, and called his brethren, and to eat bread, and then he did eat bread and tarried all night in the mound. And then early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them, and Laban departed and returned into his place.
What? No timbrels, songs, mirth? Nobody broke out into a jig?
None of that.
You want to go do that? No. Okay. Uncle the Bond.
Come on. So that's pretty much it. We covered those 4 chapters. We're going to pick up with the next 4 on the next Shabbat class. Did anybody have anything they want to close out with or say anything before we shut it down?
Alrighty.
All right, we're going to go ahead and shut it out then. All praises to the Most High. The water for everybody jumping on. It's a beautiful class. We'll see y'all next week. Those for y'all coming to camp. Anybody have any questions or concerns, hit me up. You see the number at the bottom of the screen. Until then, Most High bless. All praises. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
Shalom.
Shalom.